a 2, a 3, a 4.
We are Movie Menu Reviews, your queens of podcasts.
Wow.
On today's menu, we'll be reviewing Bohemian Rhapsody. Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Dan the Man Muñoz, host of Movie Menu Reviews, your weekly movie news and reviews podcast. Live on Facebook. Woo. I think.
Woo. I hope so.
Are we live? Are we alive? I think we're alive. We're alive and we are breathing.
Yeah, we are live. Whether we're live, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. I am joined by, as you can see, there's no Z today because it's his birthday weekend.
We are joined by not Z.
But we're joined by not Z, our special correspondent, Rigo Espinoza.
Yeah.
Rigo. Who, if you follow us on Instagram, you follow our Instagram story, you'll see that Rigo got us a quinceañera cake.
Yes.
He did.
You can't have a quinceañera without a cake.
Yes.
See if I can show this without falling. It might be miserable, but...
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. You could tilt a little more.
It says Movie Menu 15 on it.
Yeah, if you want to get a good picture of it, you can see it on our Movie Menu Instagram. So
yeah, so thank you, Rigo.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Someone who is not allowed to eat this cake is my co-host Mike Stay.
Yay! I'm not allowed to do a lot of things.
No, yes, you are not allowed to do a lot of things. I'm glad you are aware of that.
Yes.
So since we don't have Z, we figured we'd just go straight into the review for Bohemian Rhapsody. I believe all three of us saw that, so...
I believe so, too.
That is correct.
Bohemian Rhapsody, directed by Bryan Singer and Dexter Fletcher. We'll get into that more later. It is written by Anthony McCartan and Peter Morgan. And here's the plot. Chronicle of the years leading up to Queen's legendary appearance at the Live Aid 1985 concerts. It stars Rami Malek, Lucy Boynton, and basically Rami Malek. He's basically the whole movie.
And Mike Myers.
And Mike
Myers, yeah.
He's cast in this, but he's in it like about 2 minutes. So.
Yeah. He does have like a funny scene at the end of the movie, though, But this is a spoiler-free review, though. You
already spoiled it, then.
I did.
But isn't this like a historical?
But it's a historical. I guess it's not really a spoiler-free, because we all know what happens with Freddie Mercury and Queen, and if you don't, you should. And so we've all seen this movie. So collectively, we shall decide this movie is worth a dine-in, watch it in theaters, take out, wait and watch it at home, or leftovers.
Leftovers, see, would it be just lock yourself up in a mansion somewhere and
go crazy?
Yeah, and have people answer the phone for you and say
or
you're
be
not
that
there.
guy who didn't go to Live Aid.
Okay.
Live Aid.
Wow.
the not 1.5 billion people.
Or just be a hysterical queen for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys, so we shall decide. So, Rigo, as our correspondent, you get no points. No, I'm just kidding.
It doesn't matter anyways. I never really use the points. I always just give them a mic.
Yeah.
Or me.
That's true.
No, yeah, that's true.
No, I'm just kidding. You could get a point. Me and Mike are forbidden from getting points now.
We're now forbidden.
So
now Dan can't do
I
things.
basically get the point automatically then.
Probably.
No, if we agree with you or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Or if the audience agrees with you or not.
That is also true.
Mostly I agree.
Yeah.
On that note, Rigo, go ahead and rate this film.
Ooh, I'm going to go with The Takeout.
Interesting. Mike?
I agree with Rigo. It's a takeout for me as well.
I am a really big Queen fan, and this movie,
I like the dramatic.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, where is this going?
It's going, actually, I'm going to say, For a Freddie Mercury movie, this is like take out leftovers. But for a Queen film, I'm gonna give it a dine-in.
Interesting. So officially dine-in or
Dine-in, yeah.
Okay.
Because originally this movie has tried to be made several times, and famously Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to play Freddie Mercury, and he wanted to do a gritty R-rated version of it.
Who actually resembles Freddie Mercury?
He does. Rami Malek does a great job as well.
Yeah, he does.
Now, Sacha Baron Cohen and the band Queen, they had creative differences, and obviously the band wanted a more PG-13 rating and not gritty-fy their lives, which is understandable, I guess. I still would have preferred to see that film from Sacha Baron Cohen, and I would say like that film is what I would project to be the Freddie Mercury film. This film, to me, I see it as just a band film.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't even feel that way though. It feels like, it feels like a fluff piece, if that makes any sense.
Yes, that's
all of them.
That's
Biopics are all fluff pieces. They're not going to get the true stories of whatever happens. They did wash over a lot of Freddie Mercury's like homosexuality and also his AIDS, which is unfortunate. But they were picking a time period, and the movie's only 2 hours and 15 minutes. And this guy is an icon. He's a legend, and there's only so much you can cover in that time frame.
Yeah, it was like a 15-year time frame, right? That they spanned from.
Yeah.
So like 1970 to 1985. So it's like. Yeah, so they try to cram a lot into.
So they already had like an uphill battle against them.
Yeah,
trying to cram so much into little time.
It just turned into like almost like this is how this song came about. This is how that song came about. You know this song. You know this one.
Well, that's basically like all biopics are.
I know, but that's
like Johnny Cash Walk the Line was similar to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Cash Walk the Line. I mean, that could have been even more rated R compared to what his life was.
Yeah.
And it was more of a fluff piece as well.
Yeah, I mean there's novelty and fun to that, but I think like like you said, it's an uphill battle from the beginning, especially when you're covering like such a large amount of time. And
now for me, the reason why I give it a dine-in is because I feel like the performances from Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury, and even the bands and the other actors that were playing the band of Queen. When they performed, and even though it was mixture of Freddie's voice and Rami's voice, and then the band itself, but to see it live on the big screen, I thought it was great. Especially the Live Aid. It was like all their performance of Live Aid.
Yeah.
At the very
well,
end.
it wasn't everything. I think I would have enjoyed it more if they would have just done everything from Live Aid.
Yeah.
Just spend the last 30 minutes. You're already at 2:15. You might as well go up to like 2:30 or 2:45. And make it show us everything, because that felt to me like kind of like a Rocky movie where everything is set up towards that, and the Live Aid is like the last fight, you know.
That's a good point.
I felt like it was still epic in that sense. I mean, true, they couldn't do so much with it, but I felt like the performance of it, like I felt it in the room, and it was tragic. Like I felt really sad knowing what we know now and what they did back then. Where it ends up, it was. Like he's giving it his all, and I felt like Rami Malek really gave it his all on stage.
And I will agree with that, and also it kind of gave me chills because I've seen that performance several times, and the movements that he was doing were like identical to Freddie Mercury. It was spine tingling. Mike?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, I saw in an interview he talked about how he got a movement coach to get as close as possible to getting Freddie Mercury's movements. So, and they had like funny like names for different poses. Like I think it was on like the Alan show. He said like they had his movement coach say like serve spaghetti or something to do like the Freddie Mercury, like, you know. I thought that was funny. But yeah, he studied Freddie Mercury's movements a lot, and it shows. It he definitely it definitely looks like Freddie Mercury up there.
He does.
Now, what did you guys think about what they decided to focus on in the film? How did they handle it?
I thought they should have. For me personally, I wanted them to focus more on other areas than the ones they actually did. Like, I wanted to see more of his relationship with his father. Like, why is it the way it is? We all kind of get a glimpse into it, but I wanted to go deeper into that. I wanted to see some of his childhood. I also wanted, like you said, when he does contract AIDS, like, they really don't go much into it. It's just like, oh, I have AIDS, and that's it.
Yeah, it seems like you don't even know if he knows, and then it's like I guess everything's revealed later on, but I think a lot of those moments are kind of like it feels like subtle. I don't know. But
no, it was very subtle, and the way that he revealed to the band. I mean, there are a lot of inaccuracies in the movie.
Yeah, are there some that you could point out?
Yeah, like I mean, I guess it's supposed to be spoiler free, but it doesn't matter because it happened. Apparently, Freddie Mercury, in the scene where he reveals he has AIDS to his bandmates right before the Live Aid concert, that didn't happen. He didn't reveal it till much later after the concert.
Interesting.
Also, Freddie Mercury didn't go on a solo career. Right before the Live Aid. He and the band were touring together, together, so they were playing together. And Roger, the drummer, had 2 albums in his belt, so he's the one that was doing the solo more than Freddie. So
it was just like for the sake of the story.
Yeah, for the sake of the story.
So it's kind of that's kind of disappointing.
So it's not really like based on actual facts. It's just a story based on.
Yeah, and also he didn't meet his partner Jim Hunton,
which was like super that was kind of like shoved in there. I think.
But he didn't meet him the way that they did in the movie. They met at a nightclub.
Oh, okay. So. They kind of going back to that whole like PG-13 thing where it's like where it's they make it seem like super. I mean, I don't know the true story behind it, but it seems like they just avoided a lot of that. I think. Well,
for me, I felt like the way they did it. There's a song, "Somebody to Love," and I felt like that. Because the guy says like, "Call me when you love yourself." So eventually he does, and I felt like that was a nice little story. It was forced in there, but I thought they handled it tastefully.
Yeah. It definitely like it doesn't. There's not enough of that in the movie for it to feel as impactful as they wanted it to be in the film. Because there's basically 2 scenes, I would say.
Oh yeah,
pretty much. But I feel like there could have been more of that to make it more impactful.
I don't know where. I felt like it was impactful for me, but I understand the format of the film is that they're not. Everything is basically cramped in there.
Yeah,
they don't have time for it.
I know.
Could I sit through a 3-hour film? Of course.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury and Queen, I would love that, but that's not the movie that we got.
Now, do you guys feel as far as this should have been a miniseries instead of an actual?
It could have been.
It probably should have been. There's just so much they could have covered, but I think a lot of issues I have with like music, movies in general is like even from the beginning, you don't see the struggle as much. It's like both the characters and the audience watching already know they're gonna be
famous.
They're gonna be famous or they're gonna be on top. So it's like they themselves know it. So it's like the equivalent of having like a bad villain in like a comic book movie where you never feel like there's any real danger for your hero. And it's the exact same thing. It's like I know the premise of the film is it's basically, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like luck favors the bold. I know that's kind of like what's pushed here, but I don't think like that's shown in the beginning. Like there's not as much struggle. I feel
it's like one scene
he just joins the band like that.
Yeah, and it's like
one scene they're like playing this gig, and then the next scene like, oh, we've been signed to like a multi-million-dollar contract.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely rushed.
And that's kind of like for me that's always like the more interesting part because it's the most like because it requires the most like mental strength to kind of push through those times. So
But maybe they didn't struggle, Mike. Maybe they hit it like big.
Maybe they
I don't
Like that.
think so.
Maybe they were just a hit right off the bat.
But it's like, but even then, it's just like I don't think, or just that everybody has no doubt that they're gonna get there, and so you never worry that they'll be there. You already know the story, you already know where they're gonna end up, but like I think that takes away from the tension in the film.
But
for me.
I think it was more of not so much the struggle, but more of a character piece of who
Freddie Mercury
and
was.
his dynamic with the band.
Yeah.
Than anything.
Yeah.
Than struggle. And I feel like the struggle was with themselves because they showed them like fighting and not liking each other, and especially between Roger and Freddie. So I think it was just showing the dynamics of how they were and how they work together.
Yeah.
And how they even said that they are not one like the other.
Yeah.
Four individual misfits somehow combined together to become Queen.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that part. Now I wanted to see how a couple of things that I wish were in the movie, and there was a part where I had to go use the restroom, so maybe it was in there and I missed it.
Okay.
But I wanted to see David Bowie in this film.
They showed it. You were in the restroom. No, just kidding.
He was not in the film.
No, he wasn't.
I would have loved that.
You just they just play the song like under pressure.
Yeah, I know.
And,
I
like,
saw that part.
It was kind of like insinuating like around this time he wrote that song. That's kind of like what it kind of
I didn't gather
implied.
that part, but I guess
that's what it implied. Is like okay, are they going to show like Freddie Mercury in the studio like singing that song with David Bowie, which would have been fun,
And also them doing the soundtrack for Flash Gordon.
Oh,
I would have loved to have seen that.
You know
And
what? They didn't even mention that, did they?
No, they didn't. I guess not.
They didn't get the rights. I don't know.
But those are the two things I wish were in there.
What are the few things you wish weren't in there, Dan?
I don't know.
What about you, Rigo? Were there some things that you saw and you're like, ah?
I felt like Peter was like, yes, we know he's a villain of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, but he wasn't even like a good villain. He was like kind of like a weasel villain. And that kind of it got to me in not in a good way, but in a bad way. Where it was like, come on, everybody like knows it. Is this what really happens in every single band? There's always that one person that breaks up the band or tries to do that.
Who's a Yoko of the group?
Yeah.
Just kidding, Yoko. If you're watching.
She is not. No, but what do you think about that, Mike? Was that just like...
Yeah.
Is that a thing that happens all the time, or is it just...
I think they just needed a villain.
Movie chemistry or movie 101. Let's put someone that's going to break up the band.
I think
they need the movie 101. They need tension.
Yeah.
And Peter is a device to create the tension. But I mean, I'm sure also in real life he did. I mean, he was really hated by a lot of Queen fans for all the stuff that he did and the interview he did regarding Freddie Mercury and his personal life.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, that did happen. There's interviews on that.
Yeah.
You can watch on YouTube. So he did play the part, but I felt like it was very mustache.
Yeah, mustache
twirling. Thank you. Literally, he had a mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, but there are like more interesting things that could have been the source of tension other than that, like as both you guys had mentioned, like during the period of time where he had contracted AIDS and how he was dealing with that, or like his family life, or because that was actually like a huge, that seemed like a huge part for Freddie Mercury for it to not be as big of a focus, like Rigo mentioned, the relationship between his dad.
I think that was extremely important to him. So
and that could have been a bigger focus. It was at certain points, but it could have been there more.
Yeah.
So
you almost forget that he has a family.
You do.
Spoiler, Mike. Spoiler.
Yeah. That is spoiler.
No, but like I said, overall, the movie isn't bad. It's not what I would expect it to be.
Yeah, it's not a perfect film, but if you went in expecting a 2-hour film regarding Freddie Mercury's legacy, then I don't know. That's like a setup for your own disappointment. But I went in knowing that they can't cram everything into this movie,
Yeah,
so I'm just gonna see what they can do. And I mean, I love the songs. I felt like they did a great job performing them and playing them in the background. And I thought Rami Malek was incredible. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah. How would you have felt if, as Rigo suggested earlier, if they went even deeper, where they just like focused even more on Freddie, like from childhood? So
like I said, could I watch a 3-hour film regarding Freddie Mercury? Of course, or even longer. Yes, I would. But it's really hard to pinpoint what to focus on with him.
Yeah, there's just so much. Yeah, maybe they would have been better, like, just focusing on a few specific things and just locking in on that.
Like Jobs.
Yeah, maybe not.
Like Steve Jobs, yeah. Remember how that worked out?
Never mind. But no, does this film have a bunch of Queen songs? Yes. And does it sound great and look fun? Like, yes, you get a lot of like basically fun mimicked Queen performances, which is great. It's like watching a really amazing Queen tribute band that sounds identical to Queen.
Which I have actually. I've seen it live.
Yeah.
Queen tribute band, and they were great.
Yeah. And so and that part of it, it's fun, it's great. But as far as a film, as far as like the plot, just taking a look at this as a film, I think it's a takeout. You don't need to rush to the theaters to see it. There are emotional moments, but I think, I think this there are other emotional strong points they could have hit other than what they did here. So,
I disagree. I think it's totally worth watching in theaters. Definitely, the experience of seeing someone who looks so close like Freddie Mercury with Rami Malek's performance.
What do you think of Rami Malek's teeth, fake teeth?
I thought it was great. I mean, that's how he was.
Yeah.
So it's good that they had put it in there.
He seemed like super uncomfortable in the beginning. It was like.
No, I just think Freddie Mercury was just an uncomfortable person to begin with. I don't know about him being uncomfortable wearing those prosthetics.
It just seemed like he was like super uncomfortable. Like when I see like the movie and then I see like real photos of like Freddie Mercury or videos, it's like, well, it's not as drastic as the it's not as drastic as the movie.
But he did say in an interview that he did wear the overbite all the time. Like, he's really not a method actor, but he said that for this film he was
to
in
get comfortable
the whole time. Oh. So I don't think it really bothered him. It was more like, I guess, a mental thing, just like with Heath Ledger and the Joker, where Heath Ledger was the Joker for a while. Like he became the Joker. I think Rami Malek became Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, which just shows he did a great job. Absolutely.
I think that alone is at least something worth watching in the big screen is Rami Malek's performance and watching Queen.
Now the question is, will we be seeing Rami Malek at the Oscars this year for that performance?
From what I've seen so far, possibly, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Okay.
Just because of the way, I don't know, maybe it's a biopic. It's a musician. Yeah. That checks two things of the Oscars ballots. Yeah. So possibly, but again, I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, I probably if it had a different actor, a different director, then probably.
Right.
So if
the drama with Bryan Singer, he left the production, and then they fired him, and Dexter Fletcher finished, which is funny because Dexter Fletcher was in talks to direct it before Bryan Singer years ago when they were originally going to do it, and Dexter Fletcher walked away from the project, and then this movie was in development hell. Bryan Singer got the job, directed more than 50% of the movie, which is why he's the sole director on the final product. Yeah, he's the director credit. And then, but Dexter Fletcher is the one who did the final couple weeks or so of filming, Now, Bryan Singer said he left because his parents were ill,
Oh.
but he was having problems with Rami Malek apparently, and
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were constantly fighting all the time.
Really?
even though
Wow.
Bryan Singer would deny it, but
Huh.
those were the rumors coming around
Oh,
that
crazy.
him and Rami were not agreeing
Wow.
on stuff.
That's
So,
crazy. Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see about that, I guess.
All right, so on that note, we say dine in.
What?
I'm just kidding. I guess 2 out of 1. Take out. Wait and watch it at home.
You know what? I think for this one, we should just leave it to the audience. And how about they go watch it and they tell us what they think of the movie? Like, let them decide what it is.
Rigo, are you hosting this?
No.
There's only one room for one hysterical
Sorry,
host here.
I'm just throwing an
I'm just
idea out
kidding.
there.
I'm just
Because
kidding.
it seems like we're all kind of split. We all kind of have our own versions of the film, and it'd be interesting to see what they
Go
think
watch
of
it in theaters.
Well, basically, then that's a dine-in because we're kind of making them go watch the movie in theaters.
Well, you are.
No, I'm not.
You're telling them to go watch the movie and tell us what you think, but do so. They have to watch it in theaters.
That's true. That's a good point.
So you changed your vote to dine in, so
I
it's a
didn't
dine
change
in.
Ah,
By that logic, I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna say, ew.
There you go.
All right. So that do it for. Oh, we.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Unless, yeah.
Okay. That'll do it for us here at Movie Menu. This is. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you so much, Rigo.
Thank
Especially
you,
thank you for the cake.
Yeah.
worries.
And also, speaking of cake, the reason why Z is not here is his birthday weekend.
Happy birthday.
So everyone wish Z a happy birthday. Let's all
Yes.
sing him a happy birthday.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Happy
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. See, that's why you don't do that, Mike. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Z. Happy birthday to you. That was perfect, by the way. Good job,
Yeah,
Mike.
Yeah, I had to get those costumes for Z. That was for you, Z.
Until next time, we are Movie Menu podcast. And stay tuned for next week with all new Movie Menu reviews. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
See you later.
2, 3, 4.
Don't move.